Right, what's happening, people, and welcome back to the Joey Knight podcast. Now, at the end of this video, if you enjoyed the content and you want to see more from myself, please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and also click the bell so that you get a notification every time one of my videos goes live. Now, there is never a dull moment as a Chelsea fan, and during the pre-season, being that we've been playing through the night, I've been waking up pretty happy every morning, knowing that, you know, we put in some good performances and won some games, albeit against, you know, sort of small seaside town clubs like Brighton, Hove Albion. But anyway, this morning, I didn't wake up happy. I should have, because you've got the Prem starting tonight. It's my birthday tomorrow. We've got the boxing on tomorrow night. But Liverpool had to go and ruin that. They have agreed a British record transfer fee of £111 million to steal the Moses Caicedo deal from right underneath Chelsea's noses, and in doing so, a few things have now happened. Firstly, Liverpool are now definite second favourites for the Premier League title. I recently put out my final Premier League predictions in which I said that I thought that Arsenal had surpassed them in my expectations as being the team that have run City the closest, but now Liverpool have addressed that key area in defence midfield. I do think that they will be the ones that run Pep Guardiola's Manchester City side the closest, and being that a team has never won 4 consecutive Premier League titles, I do believe that a lot of people might even make Liverpool favourites now. Secondly, it has now sprung the door wide open with, as far as we know of, no real competition for the signature of Romeo Lavia from Southampton, who I believe we should now go and sign. And thirdly, it's put Chelsea in quite a shit position, in my opinion, and here's why. If you look at the fact now that we know we need to do business, we can't go into the season with Enzo and Gallagher, or even Enzo and Santos, as much as I rate him, as a pairing. We need more reinforcements in that midfield. So now we're going to be looking into the market. But here's the problem with doing your business late. One, everyone knows you're doing your business late for a reason, and that's because you need the bodies through the door. When there's a demand, there's an opportunity to raise the price, and I believe that every single team will be looking to do that to Chelsea now. You know, we had seen that Romeo Lavia was available for 50 million. I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea end up paying over the odds for him now. Not only that, but from a selling club's point of view, right? If we go and take what is going to be a first team starter from them, because let's be honest, we're not going in for Moses Caicedo and then we're going to go and sign someone who's been sitting on the bench for a mid-table side. We are going to take a vital player for them, and they are going to need to get someone else through the door. So what they're going to want is an abundance of money for that player, whether it is well over the market value of what that player is rated at. Also, for some people, it will beg serious questions of the ownership. You know, if we were prepared to eventually go at 100 million for Moses Caicedo from Brighton, why didn't we just do it sooner? You know, Moses Caicedo could have been in during the pre-season, linking up with Pochettino, getting used to his midfield partner in Enzo Fernandez, and now he is travelling to Merseyside for a medical. And now the scramble to find that player that we need to slot into that defensive midfield spot and pair Enzo in our team is well and truly on. And for me, there's 2 standouts, the first of which, fairly obvious, being Romeo Lavia. Now, Lavia is a really, really good player, albeit one who wasn't able to actually stop his Saints side from finishing rock bottom in the table last season. But at 19 years old, having just broke into the first team, I think it would be unfair to put that sort of weight on Lavia alone's shoulders to stop a declining Saints side going down. Now, reports are that we have had a £48 million bid turned down by Southampton, and if the Caicedo saga has taught us anything, just put the 50 million on the table they're asking for. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, and at some point during the season, this could come back to bite me in the arse, but I do think that Caicedo is a better player than Lavia for the here and now. But we can only deal with it here and now, and at the minute, that Caicedo ship sailed, so Romeo Lavia is an exceptionally good second choice. Lavia ranked in the top 15 players last season when it came to winning possession, and not only was he winning it in the defensive third, he was also winning it higher up the pitch, which means he would be perfect for this new pressing style that I'm hoping to see from Chelsea this season. Now, as well as having the ability to distribute the ball straight away when he was winning it, he was also able to dribble out of tight spaces quite often, and at the age of 19, it's really impressive that he had the confidence and the maturity ahead of his years to be able to take on top-level opposition and do that successfully. There were only 3 teenagers in Europe's top 5 leagues last season who won 60-plus tackles in Lavia, Bellingham and Camavinga, and out of those 3, Lavia had the highest tackle success rate. He's also got a very respectable pass completion rate, and not only that, we all saw firsthand in our miserable display at St Mary's last season that Lavia can chip in with a long-range screamer every now and again. So Romeo Lavia is the obvious obvious option, but I will name one more player, and that player is Tchouaméni from Real Madrid. Now, with the likes of Bellingham, Modric, Valverde, Cruz, Camavinga, a lot of people might think that maybe Tchouaméni might want to move because he might not be afforded the amount of game time that at 23 years old in his career he would demand from Real Madrid next season. I personally don't know whether I'd go along with that, because out of the players that I've just named, you know, you look at Modric, he's aging, Toni Kroos, he's aging. Although Modric looks like a fine wine and like he could go on forever, there is going to be a day fairly soon when Real Madrid are without him, and then Tchouaméni is going to be a really, really important player for them. He signed for Real Madrid for about 80 million euros, and due to his age, ability, sell-on value, I can't really see us getting him for much less than that. Now, this is something that some football fans may or may not care about, but you look at his wages, and in all likeliness, they're going to be a hell of a lot higher than Caicedo's. They're also going to be a lot higher than Lavia's. And if you look at the fact that he's now a Champions League winner, he's for the most part a starter for that French national team, is he going to want to come to Stamford Bridge, where at least for that first season, it is a project and we can't offer him European and especially Champions League football? But let's imagine that he would be open in coming to Stamford Bridge. What would we be getting in Tchouaméni? Well, if he can perform anything close to his best, we would be getting a brilliant ball-winning player. He ranked 7th in La Liga last season when it came to possessions won, and also at 6'1", he would offer us a definite aerial presence and a dynamic in the middle of the field that maybe Caicedo couldn't have. Now, the downside with Tchouaméni is obviously going to be the fee that we'd need to pay. He's going to cost us close to what we originally wanted to play for Caicedo, and being that I still believe we need at least one more body through the door, maybe Lavia being the much, much cheaper option might be the way to go. Anyway, let's go back to how this Caicedo deal even broke down. Brighton Hove Albion made it very clear that they did not want to sell the player. Obviously, they've got money through the door for the likes of McAllister, the added money that qualifying for the European competitions guarantees you, and for that reason, they weren't in a position where they needed to sell him. However, Moises Caicedo was in a position where he wanted to come to Chelsea. He cleaned out his locker nearly a week ago and has been staying in London ever since, waiting for this Chelsea move to go through. And some people will look at this as a massive blow for Chelsea due to the fact that dragging our heels and not coming up with the money that Brighton wanted straight away has allowed Liverpool to swoop in. But here's how I look at it. You can't have it both ways. If we had gone straight in and gone, there you go, Tony Bloom, 100 million straight down on the table, we would have been looked at as reckless and trigger happy. Or you offer what, in my opinion, is really decent money, considering Brighton bought the player in for £5 million, and you're perceived to be trying to lowball Brighton and Hove Albion. 80 mil is not fucking lowballing. And that really annoyed me. To any pundit that has been using the lowball offer term in context to us trying to get this Caicedo deal done, you're the reason that these transfer fees are going right up. 80 odd million for Caicedo is not a lowball. Liverpool have well and truly overpaid for Caicedo. And let's be honest, I don't think Liverpool were even originally in for Caicedo until we put that Lavia bid in. All we were hearing all through last season is, don't worry, because we're getting Bellingham from Liverpool. And then all of a sudden, Real Madrid go and whack that price tag on his head, paying what, £90 million for him or something, and Liverpool are going, oh, well, we can't compete with that. We can't compete with Real Madrid. So Liverpool's stance was always that with the 90 odd million they spent on Bellingham, they could have got 2 or 3 midfielders through the door. And you know what? They did. But not for fucking 90 million, they didn't. Once the Caicedo deal goes through, Liverpool spent closer to 200 million, ironically meaning they could have got Bellingham, Szoboszlai and McAllister all through the door with money left over. But this is football. Listen, I've got no doubt that Caicedo would have been brilliant for Chelsea. He'll probably be brilliant for Liverpool, but we move on. In my opinion, we ruffled feathers, didn't we, by putting that bid in for Lavia when Liverpool were already negotiating and trying to get the deal over the line. But time will tell whether that is a good thing or a bad thing, you know. I have no doubt that Caicedo will go on to do well, but time will tell whether Lavia, our replacement, in my opinion, will do better than him, or maybe a Tchouaméni. You just don't know how things are going to pan out, so I wouldn't be all doom and gloom right now about this. So here's what I think we do. Go and put the money down for Romeo Lavia, get him through the door and get him through the door quick. Also, with the money we've got left over, I believe that we need to go in for Ryan Cherki. There was a lot of murmurs of that earlier on in the transfer window, and now that's gone sort of cold. I do think with the injury to Nkunku, that would be a good option. And just for a little bit of shithousery here, we were linked with Kudus. Brighton still haven't got the deal over the line. Go and hijack that deal and teach Brighton not to mess with the big boys. But listen, it is what it is. This young Chelsea side will, in my opinion, be challenging for the title. title in a couple of years' time, by which point, the only time we're ever going to cross paths with Brighton and Hove Albion is maybe in the third round of the FA Cup or something like that. So anyway, I want to know your lot's thoughts. What do you think about this Caicedo deal falling through? Do you think he'd do well for Liverpool? And who would your replacement be? I'm very, very interested to hear who you guys think should come in that position where we were planning on having Caicedo, because I've only given 2 options here and I'm sure you lot have got more for me. So let me know. As soon as this video drops, I will be in the comments. I'll be trying to read all your comments and get back to as many of you as I possibly can. So let me know. And also, if you like the video, you want more content like this, I am banging it out all the time now. So please hit the subscribe button, click the bell so that you get a notification every time one of my videos goes live, and I will see you all in the next one.